What's going on, everybody? Pogiforce here, and you're watching Pogiforce Plays. Rare has just dropped for us a little teaser about upcoming content for Sea of Thieves, and with it came a little treasure trove of information. The full reveal is tomorrow, but before that I thought I'd chase the red strings of lore they left us, and see if I could make the connections to predict what will be coming up in the future of the Sea of Thieves. The very first thing we see is the pirate lord standing in what is clearly the Tavern of the Damned, speaking to a group of pirates. This is the same tavern where you find Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates Life Tall Tale number 3, Captains of the Damned. This is the place where all the great pirates go to celebrate and share their stories, sort of a Valhalla for the pirate dead. As such, it would make sense that the pirate lord would regale the tavern goers with his stories, except for one thing. Take a close look at the pirates he is speaking to. Those pirates are not dead. All dead pirates have a ghostly green glow about them, whereas all of these do not. So what is a group of living pirates doing in the Sea of the Damned? In the next shot, a figure steps out of the shadows, and the pirate lord reacts rather noticeably to their presence. A lot of people have been speculating this figure could be Jack, or Flameheart, or some other well-known character. But this figure has been seen somewhere else before. During the Orb event in December, there were 4 times that we were treated to lore that gave us some insight into the leadership and plans of the Reaper's Bones.
The flame burns brighter now, here in the dark. There shall be no glory for the Dark Brethren. Your fierce fire will shatter their bonds. No lords of the sea, but a king of fire. Once bound at sea, but now true freedom calls you back, moving like a deathly veil across the waves. The sands of gold will be shrouded, and all be chained eternally as sea-bound souls. Her sister will be bound to your will. She of the deep cannot stop it now. May our flame burn eternally, Father.
The first laid out clearly that the Dark Brethren and Flameheart are opposing forces, but also mention the sands of gold will be shrouded, and all be chained eternally as sea-bound souls. This seems to suggest either the Devil's Shroud will consume Golden Sands Outpost, or some other dark force will destroy the outpost and curse those who live there. The mention of sea-bound souls is interesting, since it was the title of the first tall tale in the Heart of Fire series, where Sir Arthur Pendragon works to free souls trapped within their bones that had been sunk at sea by Flameheart's ship, the Burning Blade. If these are sea-bound souls, then it would suggest that whatever happens to Golden Sands will be Flameheart's doing. This is further reinforced by the Christmas Carol Rare released, Call of the Bells, that describes a pirate invasion of Golden Sands in which the people are slaughtered. This lore bit also has the speaker, who sounds like the Servant of Flame, refer to Flameheart as Father, which all but confirms that the Servant of the Flame is Captain Flameheart Jr., Flameheart's son. He also speaks of She of the Deep cannot stop it now, which at first I thought might have been speaking of the Siren Queen. As a member of the Dark Brethren, she would wish to stand in the way of Flameheart. And the Siren Kingdom, or Queendom I suppose, is actually relatively close to Golden Sands. But there's 2 things wrong with that. At this point, the Siren Queen has already been killed by our pirates to save Jack's crew. And also, the Siren Queen has expressed a desire to destroy all surface life, so I don't see how she would be interested in saving a pirate outpost. Also, once this lore piece was over, a figure is leaning over the nearby fire. The same figure that approaches the pirate lord in the teaser. Many people have proclaimed that this individual is a pirate named Bell, and if you are like me and didn't know who Bell was, it would probably come as no surprise. In the early days of Sea of Thieves, Bell was meant to be the pirate lord, before we were instead given Ramsay. Promotional material featured her everywhere, and there are even shots of her filling Ramsay's role as the pirate lord in the Athena's Fortune hideout. Her hat and flyaway hair are rather distinct, and can be seen both upon the figure in the tavern and the one approaching Ramsay. Now, since her role in the Sea of Thieves lore has been replaced, what her role is now is in question. But it is highly likely that Belle may be the She of the Deep the Servant of the Flame is referring to. And it's also possible that she might actually be Ramses' wife, the Athena that Ramses' trading company is based on. In the next shot of the teaser, we see the player holding up the Soul Flame Lantern, which we know to belong to the Ferryman of the Damned thanks to Tall Tale 7, Fate of the Morning Star. It would seem the lantern has been on loan to us once again, for what purpose though is unclear. There is a statue in the distance that seems to be reacting to the lantern, and the player is on an island somewhere in the Sea of Thieves. You can even see an Ashen Winds event in the background. The exact island I'm not able to place, but it is possible that this may be either a new Tall Tale or some kind of new event. Unfortunately, there isn't much to glean from this shot alone. There is another lore event from the orb that speaks of the Soul Flames, but I don't think that's relating to this, and we'll go into why in a moment. The next shot in the teaser shows the pirates swimming through what appears to be a shipwreck graveyard. Many broken boats litter all around. This could possibly be another event or Tall Tale, but the specifics are unclear from this 2 seconds of footage. But there is a lore bit from the orb that I think actually sheds a lot of light on this particular scene.
Memories can be harnessed and focused, bent to your will. Memories can be powerful allies and accursed weapons.
The Speaker of the Flame talks about memories, how they can be used as weapons or allies if properly focused. And this talk of memories jogged my memory about something the Castaway said at the beginning of Pirate's Life Tall Tale 3, Captains of the Damned.
I have been telling Mr. Gibbs that the Sea of the Damned is a place shaped by the lives of those who live there.
The Sea of the Damned is shaped by the memories of those who reside there, and that entire Tall Tale is us moving through Jack's memories in the Sea of the Damned. It would seem that Flameheart wants to use that part of the sea to his own ends, perhaps using the Sea of the Damned to revitalize his armada by turning the memories of past battles into actual soldiers for his cause. Which could mean the shot of the shipwreck graveyard may be a scene from one of Flameheart's past battles that we end up visiting in the Sea of the Damned. The Servant of the Flame also seems to be speaking to someone.
Your king is dead in the world beyond. Long live the king. He shall give you freedom unchained and life everlasting. Endless riches vast. Bring your forts of stone and bow to the blade of fire.
Talking of their fortresses of stone, and how their king is dead in the world beyond. Once the lore drop is over, we also see helmets, which look like the same helmets the player can buy from the Sovereign clothing sets. These same helmets are also seen in the Spanish forts within the Captains of the Damned Tall Tale. They can also be seen on skeletons within the Shrine of Ancient Tears. So this seems to suggest that the Spanish fleet has taken an interest in the lost secrets of the Sea of Thieves. It also seems to indicate that the Servant of the Flame is trying to convince the Spaniard fleet to serve Flameheart, as the Spanish king is apparently dead. Whether or not they agree to serve, we don't know, but it is worth noting that later in this teaser, we see some rather large forts with a standard that seemed to indicate some kind of royalty. Though it is worth mentioning that these standards are different from those belonging to the Spanish fleet seen in the Tall Tale, so it is unclear whether this is officially the Spanish fleet acting, or a group of Spanish soldiers that have splintered from the main fleet. And it is still unclear whether or not they will be serving Flameheart. But don't suspect they will ally themselves with our pirates, so either way they will likely pose as some hostile threat in the days ahead. But if the Spanish fleet is involved, then the battle we see could also possibly be a battle between the Spaniards and Flameheart that ultimately leads them being brought to Flameheart's side by coercion. Or it could be the memory of a Spanish battle seen in the Sea of the Damned. The last remaining shot from the teaser we need to discuss is probably the one that has us most excited. We see Golden Sands Outpost, covered in green fog, cannons scattered on the gangways, some kind of fire burning in the distance near the tavern, with a golden battle standard raised overhead. it is clear that some battle with the undead has taken place here, but my attention was focused mostly on the battle standard. We see 3 golden doves flying over a strange mark. This strange mark, it turns out, is the symbol on the banner whenever you arrive at an outpost. So what we are seeing are 3 doves over the universal symbol for an outpost. This is not the usual flag for Golden Sands Outpost. Each outpost actually has its own unique flag. Sanctuary Outpost has some kind of a sailor's knot. Daggertooth has a lit brazier. Plunder Outpost has a golden star. And for some reason, Ancient Spire, Galleon's Grave, and Morrow's Peak all share the same anchor flag. But the usual flag for Golden Sands is a galleon over a red and white background. So this is not the usual symbol for Golden Sands. This is clearly not something Flameheart erected, as it would seem to indicate something hopeful. Instead, this is likely the symbol of the Resistance, the pirates from the Carol who spoke of defending their home.
If this is the day our work is ended, all who say shall know it was defended.
The fact that the standard is still flying seems to indicate that at least the Resistance is still standing. So what we have gathered so far is that Flameheart will lead an attack on Golden Sands Outpost, and a resistance will rise up to stand against him, likely rallied by the Pirate Lord himself and Bell. Flameheart is doing this in order to gain entry or perhaps control of the Sea of the Damned, so he may use it to bolster his forces and take over the Sea of Thieves, and he may likely have the aid of the Spanish fleet in doing so. But how does Golden Sands help him achieve that goal? And why are so many living pirates in the Sea of the Damned? The Servant of the Flame speaks of a relic, passing between worlds in a belly of gold.
Found at last, the relic of the ancients, passing between worlds in a belly of gold. The hunter is broken, and his ship is no more. It is ours, Father. Finally, we will break the seals and the Reaper's chest will open. The soul flames will burn once more and weaken the veil between. Tides will turn once the relic is ours. Memories into bones. Will into iron. Souls into life. You will arise into a new pirate life as our king for a new dawn.
Whatever this relic is, it sounds similar to the power Calypso had, or the power of Jack's trinket, which means it can open a portal to the Sea of the Damned. The servant also speaks of the hunter's ship is broken, it is ours, which means that the ship that was likely carrying this relic had been sunk by Flameheart, and the relic has been claimed by Flameheart's forces. The Reaper's chests are also important somehow, perhaps possessing parts of Flameheart's soul or parts of his body or parts of his crew, in such a way that when used with the relic, it can open the part of the Sea of the Damned that contains Flameheart's memories, and allows him to use the memories of his past battles to bolster his forces. Once this lore bit is over, we see some kind of ancient mask and a Reaper chest, the mask we can only assume being the relic the servant was speaking of. It is also worth mentioning that when the servant speaks of the hunter, during the carol there are several shots of a ship with the Shark Hunter ship set, and Rare has recently been doing Twitch drops for a Twilight Hunter set. Twilight is the time of day that the sun is setting or when the sun is rising, when you're on the edge of night and day. This could be a metaphor for the sun is setting on the pirate life, with the sun rising on a new pirate life, with Flameheart as our king of a new dawn. It could also be a possible metaphor for being on the border between the Sea of Thieves and the Sea of the Damned. The Servant of the Flame also speaks of the soul flames burning once more, and the veil between the realm of the living and the dead will be weakened. This cannot be a reference to the Ferryman's soul flame lantern we saw earlier, as the servant says flames, plural. I think this is referring to the Fort of the Damned. This was an event that had been set up by Stitcher Jim, who we now know was secretly in service to Flameheart. It is possible that the fort had initially been a way to see about bringing Flameheart back to life in a real body, rather than as a spectral head in the sky, but it didn't quite fulfill that role. So instead, the Servant of the Flame and Flameheart now intend for the Fort of the Damned and the ritual to weaken the veil between worlds in order to use the relic to create a portal to the Sea of the Damned. There was one last lore tidbit that the Servant of Flame shared with us.
Pirates for all eternity. The curse is a gift. They will descend to claim it, then arise to a sea of bones. Your gift will unite all thieves to true piracy. They will drink, they will die, and they will live again to serve the fire.
He speaks of descending and drinking before being reborn to serve forever. And after, there are skeleton runes on the table that read Pirates for all eternity. It is known that the chalice is the symbol of the Reaper's bones, and the chalice is supposedly being kept under the large central doorway of the Reaper's hideout. Flameheart Jr. became a skeleton lord by being tricked to drink from the chalice by the captain. In this case, it seems they may be referencing new adherents to Flameheart's army, drinking from the chalice to become skeletal servants. So what does all this mean? This is what I think. There is a relic of the ancients that is capable of opening a pathway to the Sea of the Damned. This relic came into possession of the hunter, likely the owner of the hunter's shipset. A bounty hunter perhaps, or a pirate hunter, maybe someone in the employ of the Spanish fleet. This hunter is sunk by Flameheart's forces, and the relic is claimed by Flameheart. Flameheart then extends an offer to the Spanish to join with him through either persuasion or coercion. All new recruits to Flameheart's forces are made to drink from the chalice, making them into skeletons bound to his will. At this point, the Fort of the Damned is used to weaken the barrier between the living and the dead, and Flameheart and the pirates loyal to him attack Golden Sands. This is either to establish a portal to the Sea of the Damned, or after having already done so, using his newly bolstered forces to overrun the outpost. The pirates who are trying to defend against Flameheart are ultimately driven back through the portal and retreat to the Tavern of the Damned, where the Pirate Lord is trying to rally the good pirates to push back. And what results is Golden Sands becoming a heavily contested piece of ground, with Flameheart's forces trying to get through the portal to retrieve souls from Flameheart's army, while the defenders try to keep him pushed back and reclaim their lost home in Golden Sands. From a game's mechanics standpoint, I suspect there will be a PvP event surrounding Golden Sands, with some pirates serving as attackers and some serving as defenders. Each side will have a curse that can be unlocked. Those serving under Flameheart will be able to unlock the Skeleton Curse by proving their value to Flameheart and drinking from the chalice. Those pirates who ally themselves with the Pirate Lord and defend against the attackers will get a curse, either the existing Athena curse from Season 1, or a new curse with a similar appearance that makes them appear phantasmal from all the time spent at the Sea of the Damned guarding it against Flameheart. This would mean also that Golden Sands is no longer a usable outpost, and instead will be a battleground for the two sides to fight it out. This could also mean that there will be at least parts of the Sea of the Damned that we can explore. It all sounds rather exciting, but for now, it's just speculation. We will know come tomorrow how much is true and how much is merely fantasy. But I hope you enjoyed all the same, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time everyone, I am Pogiforce, and stay awesome. I'll catch you later.